Hi everybody, welcome back to Daytime. Karen Cyrus is here and she's an ethnomusicologist and also a music educator, which is really interesting. We're happy to have you here, Karen.
Thank you for having me.
You were also recommended by a Daytime viewer, which we love. We love getting, recommendations for people in the community that we might not know about. So someone said, you got to have Karen on the show. She developed a really neat new concept. So tell us about Caribbean integrated music and how you sort of developed this really neat method to teach beginners how to play music.
Well, it started after I was teaching as a lecturer in a teacher's college, and I found that many of the teachers were shy about teaching in the classroom. And as a lecturer, I was like, it's really, you can do this. Yeah. But unless they had a background in music, it was often a very timid area for them. So I decided, let me develop something, a method that was slower, a method that anybody could deliver, whether a parent to child or a teacher who had no music background to a classroom. Huh. And so I went and I studied the curriculum and developed this method that integrated music with math and movement and art and something that they could incorporate into their class at different levels.
You are a problem solver at best. We're actually looking at some students going through your book right now and learning firsthand. What's the experience like for the student when they pick up the book and begin?
Well, what I also did was to put the written music to audio music. So I had, great, as you can hear here, great music background to it. So they find it easy to follow the method and to play along because they're listening to it, plus they can play along with it. So I find that the students work really hard at trying to get it perfect so they can play along with the reggae and to match the sounds, So it's been really great.
And so is it all Caribbean influence?
It's Caribbean influence, and that would include like reggae, calypso, Cuban son, some R&B, because in Caribbean we have everything, right?
You gotta have a little.
Yeah.
Well, it must be fun for students because, Caribbean music is just so soulful and just so much fun. It's nice for them to be able to play something different than just, say, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yes.
And blend the music a little differently, right?
Yeah. When learning the recorder, Mary Had a Little Lamb is important because it has first three notes on the recorder. So it's useful for that, right?
It's the only thing I know how to play on the recorder still to this day. Yeah.
You still have a situation where you have to do baby steps. So you're learning to play 4 pitches, you're learning to play 4 beats. But what I wanted to do was to make that exciting. I wanted the little exercises to be exciting in itself. So even though I'm only playing B 4 times, I want that, I want that to be something that they're looking forward to, and that it wouldn't be boring, right? Yeah. So what I did was I took the music, took all the exercises in that book, and I put them to music. It was kind of hard because I'm creating from exercise that's set, that's a couple seconds long, but I wanted to put it in a frame of Caribbean music. Page 47, exercise 3. I wanted the child who doesn't play the recorder, can't for many reasons, to be able to also play music in a different setting. So I transferred all the pitches from that to colors that they were able to play on pitched instruments.
So you're almost making a pattern for them, which makes it a little bit easier.
A little bit easier, and using different you know,
Yeah.
they can use bells. So they're
That's
just
perfect.
playing the colors, and
This is what they would see.
that's
the
what they
color
would see.
chart.
Yes, and it would correspond to a piece in there. So even though this child might not be able to pick up a recorder, they can use a hand, and they can play along with the class, right?
Yeah.
So that everybody is involved. Page 59.
So this is, I mean, a different way to learn music. It doesn't have to be boring and tedious the old way, learning how to read musical notes.
Right.
You've actually taken the approach and made it fun and probably a little easier for them, right? To relate to.
A little easier for them and a little easier for the teacher.
Now, what about teachers who have no music experience? Can they use this and sort of incorporate it into?
I wrote this with them in mind. I wrote this so that anybody, you Jacqueline, could start your...
I will start
Jacqueline, she
teaching
knows how to play the
music.
recorder, Karen.
What I found in some schools was that because the teacher isn't comfortable with delivering the music curriculum, a set of children get left behind. And
Yeah.
the school might say they have music because maybe they have a choir or maybe they have a band, but that's just 20 kids. What
Yeah.
happened to the other kids in the school? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I wanted a situation where everybody could have access to music and access to music education and training.
And I think
great.
you're right about making the teachers feel comfortable about teaching, right? 'Cause if
Page 46.
And there's several different methods that you can use for a recorder or other instruments as well, right?
Yes.
It's very diverse. So
Best way to
send her
learn.
an email for more information, integratedmusiceducation@yahoo.ca.